November is soon coming to a close. With that comes the month of December. Today, we'll be discussing sneakers to resell in the month of December. If you're not into reselling, that's okay as well. You could use this guide to know what are going to be the most hype sneakers, the most limited, or even what popular general releases may potentially go on sale, because hey, we're all trying to save some money. Specifically, we'll be discussing the name of the sneaker, the retail, the release date, and whether the sneaker will be profitable or not, or if they may have been set on shelves, resulting in a sale price. Be sure to subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you always stay 100% updated on all these profitable releases. Also, be sure to follow my Twitter for urgent updates and info, KeithAdam10, and also personals for you, such as the recent shock drops and exclusive access that we have seen. And for early information, before these drops actually occur, make sure to follow Endurance if you are interested. Kicking it off with December 1st for $120, the Adidas Forum Low Grinch will be dropping. Now, regardless of how ugly you may think these are, as I would certainly agree, these actually appear to have some decent demand on them, potentially sufficient for lunch money with a poor to subpar margin, considering retail is only $120, and Adidas also does have free returns and free shipping, so there's no risk on these. Also on the first, for only $110, the Notre Converse Chuck 70 is also dropping. Regardless of the very high presale, I'd still say that these are mostly personal only given their lack of demand. Now, moving on to the second, not confirmed precisely for this date, but it should be sometime next week regardless, we have the Jordan 13 Soulfly. Keep an eye on their Instagram as they should post a confirmed date on there, although it's also possible that they just do a surprise drop on their website as they have done in the past. In that case, I will tweet out a link as I usually do, such as the recent Manière new domain drop. Retail is not confirmed, but I predict it'll be somewhere around $225, higher than the usual Jordan 13 retail of $200. Soulfly will also likely charge around $20 shipping, so potentially around a $250 total before tax. If you do sell these quickly, you should be able to make a decent profit with a subpar to decent margin, but if you wait too long, it may end up looking like how the Jordan 10s look right now, and after tax, you'd make lunch money with a poor margin at best, potentially even losing money. Without tax, it's just slightly better. So this could be a good drop as long as you could offload them quickly while hype is high and they're not all in circulation, but it really does depend on your situation. Also on the second for $225, we have another East Side Golf collab, this time on the Jordan 12 Low Golf. Normally these Golf 12s don't do too well, but the recent East Side Golf collabs have actually done pretty well. The Jordan 1s even slightly exceeded my expectations. Hence, I would expect an opportunity for lunch money with a subpar margin on these, particularly on large sizes 10 and above. Also on the second, for $125, the Dunk High inspected by Swoosh Honeydew will be dropping. Like many recent Dunk Highs, presale on these is very low and close to retail. In fact, already, demand is also very low, hence, I would say personal only. Also on the second for $120, the Dunk Low Chanel Swoosh Black, Gray, and also Neptune Green and Purple will both be dropping. Similar to the prior pair we just discussed, presale is already close to retail on these and demand is very low, hence I'd say mostly just personals for both of these as well. I know the second has a lot already, but wait, there's more. The Dunk Low Pandas are releasing once again. Yes, I know this is like the 17th time. These are essentially the new white Air Force Ones, but I'm not complaining. You know why? There's still pretty solid profit to be made on both the men, women, and grade school Dunk Low, all with good margins. Now, the Dunk Highs still remain to be personal only, but nonetheless, this is still another profitable drop to look forward to, of course, on the Nike app. Also on the second, the Nocta Air Force One Low Certified Loverboy will be releasing for $160. While most recent Nocta we have seen don't exactly do well, I believe that these have potential for at least lunch money with a subpar margin and potentially more than that. The all-white Air Force One in general has super high demand, as you guys know, and just adding a simple twist like a Supreme branding, for example, could go a very long way. I think that'll be the case with this pair as well, although without the constant restocks like we see on the Supreme Air Force Ones. Moving on to the third for $200, the Jordan 12 Black Taxi will be dropping. Like most recent Jordan 12s, aside from the East Golf collab we saw, I'd expect these to be personals only. Perhaps large sizes might be lunch money for local sales if you do have no tax and you could avoid seller fees, but that's about it. Also on the 3rd for $200, but potentially delayed, the Jordan 2 Low Cherrywood may be dropping. Whenever they do end up dropping, like most Jordan 2 Lows, I'd expect these to be personals only. Also on the 3rd for $120, we will be seeing another Home Alone Adidas Forum Low. This one takes inspiration from the Pigeon Lady in Home Alone. I'd expect these to perform just hardly better than the prior pair, which completely bricked, so still personals only, although I do think that the concept is pretty cool, but my opinion doesn't matter, obviously. Then on the 5th for $170, the Air Umera LX in pink will be having their Nike drop. I don't expect these to have any more demand than either of the prior pairs, so I'd say mostly just personals on these two. Jumping to the 10th for $160, the Bad Bunny Adidas Forum Low will be dropping. These actually just recently appeared in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, so that was interesting to see. Besides the point though, like many recent Bad Bunny Forum Lows, I'd still expect these to be profitable with a very good margin. Also on the 10th for $225 in men and $185 in grade school, the Jordan 11 Cherry will be dropping. This is our holiday Jordan 11 this year. I recently just got my pair in from the shock drop, and I must say they look amazing in person. Absolutely keeping this pair for the toe. Anyway, despite the fact that there was a massive amount of stock released through that shock drop, pre-sale is still holding up around 300, which really illustrates the high amount of demand on these, like many holiday 11s. Of course, much more stock will go into circulation after the full drop, but it is also worth noting that a lot of buyers are also holding out precisely for that reason. Hence, I don't think the market will change that drastically after the drop, so I still think we could expect these to remain profitable for just slightly more than lunch money with a subpar to decent margin, larger sizes still being the focus. As for the grade school pairs, I think if you have no tax, these have potential for lunch money with a poor margin, but not much more than that. Nonetheless, I still see this drop as one to look forward to, especially if you need a personal pair. Now, with all these drops throughout the month, you're obviously going to be spending quite a bit of time perusing the internet, perhaps for some low-key raffles, drops, etc. And along the way, you might accidentally click a malicious link. Hence, you should consider protecting yourself with today's sponsor, NordVPN. As of recently, NordVPN has become so much more than just a VPN, taking threat protection to the next level. While a VPN encrypts your online data, conceals your IP address and location, and keeps your online activity private from prying eyes, just a VPN alone does have limited capabilities. And that's precisely why NordVPN has now expanded their threat protection to block intrusive ads and web trackers. When a user downloads a file, threat protection inspects it for malware. It also automatically scans URLs and blocks malicious ones. If you want to stay safe, like myself, you can get the NordVPN 2-year plan and 4 months for completely free at nordvpn.com/KeithAdam. That's nordvpn.com/KeithAdam. And with that said, let's get back to the many more drops this month that we'll be perusing the internet for. Also on the 10th for $180, the Bodega New Balance 9060 Age of Discovery will be dropping. I'd expect these to perform similar or slightly worse than some of the better days pairs we have seen in the past, so borderline just personals unless you have no tax and you're okay with the poor margin still. Although sometimes with these, if you manage to sell them quickly before most pairs go in circulation, you might make a little bit of profit with the subpar to decent margin, but overall I wouldn't expect much. Then on the 13th for $200, the Jordan 9 Fire Red should be dropping. Like most Jordan 9s, I'd expect these to be mostly just personals, but if you have local buyers, you may be able to make a little bit of lunch off the larger sizes. Also on the 13th for $120, the Dunk Low Armory Navy should be dropping. Demand isn't terrible on these, but at most, the $120 retail really only leaves potential for lunch money with a poor margin on the large sizes, and that's if you have no tax. Then on the 15th, according to Sneaker News, the SB Dunk Low eBay Sandy Bodecker may be dropping, and if not, they probably should sometime in the near future anyway. Retail will probably be $120. No matter what it is, expect these to be very profitable with an incredible margin, full throttle without a doubt. Also on the 15th for $150, the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low Black Phantom will finally be dropping. Like the prior Travis ones, expect these to be extremely profitable with an incredible margin too, so full throttle on these as well. Although I should note that I do expect these to slightly underperform the prior pairs. Of course, that really doesn't matter though. Then on the 16th for $200 each, the ALD New Balance Rainer will release in 3 different colorways. Despite this being an ALD collab, I don't think this model will hold sufficient demand for these to be profitable, especially with that $200 retail, so personal only as of now. Then on the 17th for $200, the Jordan 7 Cardinal will be dropping. Despite these being a classic colorway, I'd still expect these to just be personal only, like most Jordan 7s. In fact, they're pretty close to retail right now. Also on the 17th, but potentially delayed, for $210, the Jordan 7 Black Olive should be releasing. Just like the last pair, personal only for these two. Then potentially on the 20th, the Concepts SB Dunk Low Orange Lobster should be dropping. Just like the prior Concepts SB Dunk Lobsters, such as the recent purple one in 2018, the demand on these is absolutely insane. You could expect these to be extremely profitable with an incredible margin, full throttle on these two. Let's hope that they do a new domain drop on Concepts, as well as some kind of sneakers hunt. For the purple pair, for example, they did a sneakers cam, if you do recall. Then on the 22nd, the Jordan 1 Women's Twist 2.0 will be dropping for $180. If you recall, the first Twist pair, while it is very profitable right now, when they initially dropped, they were only about lunch money. And that's really all I'd expect for these initially as well. Lunch money with a subpar margin, larger sizes being the best. Then on the 23rd, we may potentially be seeing the Jordan 13 University Blue release for $200. While demand doesn't look terrible at the moment, at best I'd mainly only expect these to be good for local sales, otherwise just personals like most recent 13s. Then jumping to the 28th for $180, the delayed Jordan 1 Gorge Green should be dropping. Given how low presale already is, I'd also mainly just expect these to be good for local sales and otherwise just personals. And then on the 30th for $200, the Jordan 2 OG Chicago may finally be making its return. While it is a Chicago colorway, these still are a Jordan 2, which don't typically garner good demand usually, so at the moment I'm mostly expecting these to be lunch money with a poor to subpar margin, but possibly better. Let me keep you guys updated on these, as demand seems really high right now, but it's quite far out, so we will see what happens. Anyway, that is all for right now, but as usual, many more should pop up throughout the remainder of the month, so make sure you do subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you stay 100% updated on all these hyped releases. Also, feel free to check out nordvpn.com/KeithAdam. The link for that is in the description below. You can also feel free to check out the other links in the description. You can feel free to join eDeals for only $14.99 per month. Feel free to follow Endurance's Twitter for updates on Restocks or key giveaways, and the same goes for Gargantua if you want to keep up with the progress or Restocks. Last but not least, make sure to follow KeithAdam10 and Personals for you. This way you guys stay updated on our urgent info like I was going over today. With that though, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and of course, good luck on all these upcoming releases.